And we want you guys to tune in and, enjoy the show. Reach out to me. My Instagram handle is at Andrew.Glisson. And I'd like to hear from you. I'd like to hear from who you guys want to hear from on the show. We introduce you guys to experts along every single asset class in real estate, along the entire continuum, multifamily, industrial. What I'm trying to say is that if it touches real estate, we're going to talk to those people. And so if you have folks to introduce us to, we'd like to hear from you. So thanks again for tuning in. We'll see you guys next week at 5:00.
This has been a NowMedia Networks feature presentation. All rights reserved.
Welcome everyone to Biz Talk. I'm your host, Rachel Weaver. I have a special guest today with us, Stefan Whitwell. Stefan is a sought-after investment advisor and tax planner for business owners and executives across the U.S. He graduated from the Wharton School of Business and earned his CFA designation in 2000. He has real estate experience and is also licensed in insurance annuities. His goal is to unleash compassion and creativity in 1 million American lives by the year 2030 by helping everyday Americans harness the power of financial freedom. Stefan is married, has 4 children, and lives in Austin, Texas. Stefan, it is an honor and pleasure to have you with us today.
Thank you, Rachel. I'm excited to be here with you.
So I am excited to dive into asking you about international business operations because they're a little bit different than just national business. So
component to it. So we tend to think of businesses either being domestic or international, but it's the truth is it's all the above.
Yes, that's so true. How do overseas operations or sales affect tax obligations? Because that's one question that I know that I've had as I've gone overseas, and also many of my clients. So I know it's a hot topic.
Yeah, it is. So it really depends on what kind of business you're in. So if you're making a product and you're selling that product, sometimes there's a different set of rules than if your product is, say, intellectual property, for example. So it really depends on the kind of business. And every country, not to overcomplicate it, but every country has their own rules. But the good news is that as a business, I think that the hardest challenge is one that you as a business owner, if you're watching the show, have already overcome, which is figuring out a product that people in other countries want to buy. I think that's the hardest part. It's important to know and to do your research and to find the right tax advisor who has expertise in the country that you're going after. And that's key. No single person is going to be an expert in every country. So just make sure you find the expert for that particular country and help you navigate that so you can concentrate on your business.
That's such great advice because you hear all the time someone who's like, I'm going to take this global. And then the next thing you know, it's a complete flop because they didn't really take into consideration the needs or the culture of that particular country. So I know that vacationing on a place and seeing what you think they're going to like versus living there and being in the culture and in the local communities really is a big differentiator, actually. And so I completely agree with everything you just said in terms of making sure that expert is someone who knows that country very, very well, or even maybe has lived there or is from there.
Even better.
Mm-hmm. Are there specific reporting requirements for businesses with international accounts?
Yeah, so that's, I think in any business, reporting, it's not exciting, right? It's not super sexy and exciting, but reporting is very important. It makes your life easier. It helps keep you out of trouble.
Mm-hmm.
And the way that you need to do the accounting may be different in another country. They may call certain things by a different name. And again, it's just a matter of getting it set up and creating a process and a system. And the sooner you do it, the easier it's going to be for you, right? So I think just something as simple as knowing that, hey, their system's going to be different. What do I need to do to keep track of from an information standpoint? If you're manufacturing something abroad, there's going to be different information requirements because the governments are going to want to know, well, what did you buy? What did you put into the product? How much did that cost? Just things that may not necessarily seem obvious that you might need to keep track of for tax purposes. So again, another reason why. So there's really two different things. You want to understand what information you need to keep track of for taxes, but separately, sometimes countries just have information reporting requirements. They just want to keep tabs on what you're doing and how your business is operating. And so you need to know what those requirements are as well. And I guarantee you, good old Uncle Sam's going to have things that she needs to keep, need us to keep track of. So just asking, again, an expert in that particular area. Make sure that when you ask questions, though, to experts, this is really important. Don't ask them vague general questions like, hey, in general, if I'm doing business in Paris, France, do I need to do this? That's going to get you a vague answer. What you need are specifics about your business. Hey, I'm in this business. I'm selling this service or this product, and really get into the details. And then that's where and how you want to ask the question. Because otherwise you're going to get an answer, you're going to think you know the answer, you depend on that, and maybe it's not the answer, and you get a fine and get in big trouble and, waste a lot of money on trying to clean it up. Mm-hmm. So make sure that when you're asking questions about that kind of stuff, it's very specific to your business. And that's where, good old fashioned having an advisor specific to that country will help rather than just YouTube videos, because they're often kind of general advice. They can be useful for helping you learn what questions to ask. Hey, I saw a video and it talked about this issue. Maybe I'll ask just to see if it applies. Great source of questions, not a great source of answers.
Yeah, makes sense. That is definitely where an advisor needs to be seeked out for sure. So tell us, because oftentimes if we are working in another country, we want to bring hires on, bring someone who is local. So what are the tax implications of hiring remote workers from other countries, or maybe the country that you're actually doing business in?
So this is a really cool, and I'm glad you asked about that, because this is something you can take advantage of even if you're a U.S. business. So one of the kind of neat things about 2024 is we're able to tap into labor pools and people's talents all over the world today in ways we couldn't have done 20 years ago. So 20 years ago, if you wanted to hire somebody in India or Switzerland or Ghana or, wherever, you would have needed to go there and connect with them in person and hire them in person as an employee or a contractor or something direct. Today, there are online sites, websites that you can go to that they aggregate people who work as, they outsource their skills. They say, hey, I have this superpower. This is what I charge per hour. If you want my help, reach out to me. Mm-hmm. And so you can access this, people all over the world. And it's easy. And it's pretty cool because you can, for example, if you're a US business and you want to tap into some sources of labor in other countries, you can do that without having to create what we call a nexus, a presence in that other country. Because those apps, those businesses that provide this labor online, they're the middle person. So those people technically don't work for you. You're hiring this app. And so it protects you from all the compliance and all the headaches of hiring somebody directly. And it keeps your presence here and simple, if you want to think about it that way. And sometimes I got to tell you, I've gotten some great work done leveraging people in other places, sometimes other places in the US, sometimes other people around the world, have had websites built, have done all sorts of things, and have had really great results. There's some things you need to do differently to make sure you get really good results. But if you know how to do that and you get some coaching on that, it's a huge source of extra labor. And what's great is you can engage people for a project. You don't have to commit to hiring them full time forever. And as a business owner, sometimes that's your worry, right? Like, hey, I need some help on this, but I don't want to hire somebody full time. I just need them on this project. And you can do that guilt-free. You can do that without, you just say up front, hey, I need your help for a month, or I need your help on this one project, and you can get that. All of which is to say that the labor markets today, thanks to technology, you can access people all around the world in a very simple way. And sometimes there's a big cost advantage. Sometimes there's a time advantage, like, hey, I need something done at night while I'm sleeping, while my US team is sleeping. I need stuff done overnight. So that can be like a time advantage. And sometimes there's a skill advantage. Maybe there's a particular skill you need. So there's all sorts of reasons, I think, to, as a business owner, keep a really open frame of mind as to where you get help, finding the right help, if you will, for whatever it is you're needing done. Now, if you hire somebody abroad, there's also other apps out there. One that comes to mind is Rippling. It's like an HR app you can use to hire people who are abroad. And the one thing I would just share to kind of keep in mind is if you're hiring a couple people in other countries directly through that kind of an app, generally you're fine. The apps have a lot of built-in guidance and additional kind of upsell services around the compliance and reporting and types of issues that you might need to think about, which again makes it super easy. You don't need to know it all. You don't need to spend hours on, doing Google searches. They have the resources there for you. But if you start hiring a lot of people in one specific country, then you do need to kind of get some additional guidance because you might be seen as creating a presence in that country by having a certain number of employees in that country. And once you have a business presence in that country, sometimes tax rules and other reporting rules come into play that you might be responsible for. So again, the good news is you can hire people directly through the apps. Upwork is one that comes to mind, but there's a whole host of them. Fiverr, is another that is US centric, but you can get people all around the world. You can also hire people directly using kind of HR hiring apps that will coach you through that process. And just know, though, that if you keep hiring more and more people directly without an intermediary, you need to start asking questions like, hey, how many people, what is this going to create a presence for me or not? Because then other rules apply. But the great news is for all of you watching is there are a lot of talented, hardworking people out there that are going to compete for your work. So if you need help, don't feel you're limited to the people that are immediately around you. If you've got great people around you, wonderful. If you're needing help and you're not sure where to go, we are more connected as a world today than we've ever been in the past. And don't worry about languages too. I mean, I think that's not a good reason to not hire somebody. You need to be able to communicate, obviously.
Right.
But I would get comfortable and get accustomed to speaking with people of different dialects and different languages, because you'll be able to tap into some really amazing people and help your business grow.
Yeah, no doubt. Such great information. I know firsthand, I do work with a lot of people overseas. I've been very successful at achieving a lot of tasks from people in other countries. So I absolutely encourage it. Sometimes it takes a minute to really make sure you're on the same page. So make sure you're asking a lot of questions when you're hiring, I think. And yeah, you can get significant work done, especially if you're starting off kind of bootstrapping your business and not taking funding out. This can be a more affordable way to get really hard projects that might have cost you a lot of money here in the US, and you can get those accomplished overseas for much less. So such great information.
I'd add one thing too. You when you're outsourcing and getting help from groups like that, a key question to think about is the task that I need done fairly mechanical, or does it involve creativity? Tasks that relate to efficiency and accuracy, you can find some incredible people to help execute those. Where you want people to be designers and creatives, it's a different hiring process. You're going to need to, like you said, Rachel, explore that relationship a little bit, maybe give them some smaller test bite projects. So that way you kind of give them a small test, pay them, see how they do. They just crush it, then give them the whole project. But if they don't do well, it's a very inexpensive way to test out a couple different people simultaneously sometimes, see who the best person is, so you can then commit to the person that's going to be the best fit with you. And then sometimes you also need to think about privacy considerations. So, if you're working on things that are really data sensitive, confidential information, that's sometimes another element that you need to think through as to who you're working with and where are they located and what systems are you going to be using to protect that data. But for a lot of tasks that we often need done in business, there are some terrific, like you said, very affordable, money-saving people, ways to get help out there that you might not have ever thought about. So definitely worth checking out and using in your business to grow and fuel your further success.
Very good. Such great information. Can you tell the audience where they can find you?
Yeah, you bet. You can give me a call at 512-766-7775 or reach out to me by email, Stefan, and that's F for financial freedom, Stefan@whitwelladvisors.com.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for being with us today, Stefan. And with that, we will be right back after this commercial break.
Are you nearly maxed out on your credit cards? It doesn't matter if you're using your credit cards for fun or to survive. At the end of the month, your statements come in, and you can either pay them or you can't. If you can't, late fees and interest rates get tacked on. And now you're struggling just to make the minimum payment due. Do you feel trapped? Am I talking to you? Good, because I personally researched some companies that can help you. They may be able to reduce your credit card balances by 50% and stop the late fees. If you qualify, please call our special debt hotline number right now for a complimentary free 5-minute consultation. Deal with your credit card problem now before it gets much worse and put more money back in your pocket. Trust me, I've been there too. Call right now.
Call 855-993-2096 right now. That's 855-993-2096.
Do you have a car sitting around you want to get rid of? Well, here's a great idea. Donate your car now to help local veterans in your area. Yes, just make one fast call to the Veteran Car Donation Program. Within a few days, we'll come and remove your car for free. You can donate any car in any condition. We'll use our vast network to sell it. The proceeds raised go to help local veterans and their families. And you get a tax deduction. And all you need to do is make this free call. Clean your yard up, get rid of an old car, and help the vets. we make it easy. Make this free call now. Book your fast and easy pickup. Call the Veteran Car Donation Program now.
Are you a business owner feeling overwhelmed or burnt out with no energy left for what's most important to you? In order to effectively run your business and maximize your profits, you have got to be the best possible you that you can be. Now is the time to reclaim your energy, master your schedule, and maximize your profits so you can effectively run your business rather than it running you. It's time to become the CEO of your business and life. I'm Jen Godet, a business strategist and life coach. I work with overwhelmed business owners who feel stuck in a rut and depleted. I teach you how to stop doing the things that aren't making you money and start prioritizing the things that bring you energy, joy, and lasting impact. I'm a human performance specialist and an international best-selling author. I've helped countless people all over the world to learn the art of saying no, overcome their fear, and maximize their performance. Let's get you to live your best possible reality. Start today and become the CEO of your business and your life.
Hi, I am Noura Al-Masri and welcome to Echoes of Impact with Noura. Join me on a journey where we celebrate the power of women in business, the driving force behind growing nonprofits, and the architects of change in our community. We'll explore strategies for building successful businesses, increasing cash flow, and saving on taxes. Tune in to Echoes of Impact with Noura, because when women succeed, we all thrive. See you there.
Welcome back to Biz Talk, everyone. I am your host, Rachel Weaver. I'm excited to have our special guest, Linda Hamilton, with us today. Linda is an award-winning CPA and the principal of Grow Profit Scale, a strategic business advisory firm for female CEOs. She is a certified CEPA and systemologist who helps her clients create growth plans that focus on hiring, scaling, and exiting their businesses successfully. She uses her signature Grow Profit Scale framework to identify and close gaps in revenue, profit, operations, finance, and planning. She also reviews her clients' tax structures and helps them optimize their profits, increase their business value, and pay themselves what they deserve. Everyone needs a Linda in their life if you are a business owner. Linda, such a pleasure to have you with us.
Thank you, Rachel.
I am excited to talk today about something that's maybe not so sexy in the business world, especially for business owners starting out: systems, processes, and methods. I think it is such a critical piece because it's part of the foundation when you're starting up and working on growing and scaling your business. But as business owners, it's not fun for us to sit down and create those. However, I know how effective and beneficial it can be. So what is the importance of establishing efficient processes in your business?
That's a great question. And, oftentimes business owners know it's important, but it's rarely urgent. And without efficient processes, you can really often feel that your business is running you instead of the other way around. So if you imagine your business kind of like a complex jigsaw puzzle, and each piece represents a different system or process within your business. And just as each puzzle piece has a unique shape and a place in the puzzle, each system and process serves the same role. It has a specific role and a specific function in your business. And when all the pieces come together, it forms a complete picture. So if there's something out of place, if the piece is broken, the wrong place, and it doesn't fit, it can actually distort how your business runs effectively. And so that's why that's important. It's so important to a growing business that, just one cog in the wheel of affecting how you take customer calls, how you serve your customers can fall apart. And so you want to be thinking about systems as you grow, because it's impossible to grow and scale without them.
How can businesses identify areas where processes and methods need improvement?
Well, the first thing I would like to say is that often we come across problems, we really aren't sure what to do with them. One of my favorite TED Talks by Tom Wojcik is called "Got a Wicked Problem? Show Me How to Make Toast." You can find it on his website, drawtoast.com. It is a design thinking exercises using Post-it notes that will help you think through processes and challenges within your own business. But successful business owners I talk to across the country, while they still feel very passionate and motivated about growing their businesses, many get to the point of overwhelm and even burnout because their business is growing. They already have a full workload. They have limited resources, limited money, limited people, and unreasonable deadlines. So it leaves them uncertain where to begin. So the place to begin is, one, capture what you're doing now before you try to re-engineer it and improve it. Two, you want to identify bottlenecks in all those places you said. A bottleneck's a point of congestion. It's a restriction. So if you feel that there's a bottleneck on getting your leads in the door and talking to customers and solving customer problems, you want to make a list of where all the pain points are from the point of view of your customer journey, which is the best place to start because that's the path they move through your business. And after you identify the bottlenecks, you want to then ask yourself, what department or function does that happen in? Is it in the marketing department, sales, operations? And even if you think you have no departments, we still have these functions, even if the business owner is wearing every hat.
Mm-hmm. So important to think about, especially when it comes to scaling and not being so in your business, right? So what tools and methodologies are effective for documenting and optimizing business processes?
So there's many books on this subject, but I use a specific framework to get results for my clients. I am a certified systemologist. It is based on the book by David Jennings, Systemology. And it's the only book that actually guides you step by step in how to capture what you're doing now through the lens of your customer. In a nutshell, we record what you're doing now. We capture, maybe you were performing a task, Rachel, on how to interview a guest for your show. And as we then take the recording and we turn it into a transcript, a step-by-step standard operating procedure, so that you have access to both a recording and a transcript, because many people learn differently. And the purpose of them is to train your team so the business owner can step out of the weeds and be able to start to hire help. So that's one specific way to get started, and I highly recommend it. But today you can leverage AI to quickly get things documented, because once you have these recordings and capture what you're doing now, as I said, don't re-engineer it until you can see it. It's easier to diagnose things, just like a doctor, when you can see it and talk about it first. So you can get your core systems documented in 90 days or less.
Wow, super beneficial to understand and learn, because, we should always have the thought process in mind of building to scale and grow and ultimately exit no matter what, because that ensures, in my opinion, that you're going to be putting the processes in place from the beginning that build that strong foundation. So whether you want to exit or not, you are profiting. I think a lot of people fail in that area because they don't think in that thought process. And they're so excited to get started. And then it's like kind of throwing spaghetti at the wall to see what sticks and what works. And so setting up processes really are such a critical piece. I know me, I've been that business owner time and time again, where I've been so ingrained in the business. The business was literally running me 24/7. No matter what I was doing or where I was going, I couldn't put the phone down because something was going on. So these are such great, valuable tips, Linda. And I definitely wrote down Systemology, the book. Definitely want to read that. But for those of us who are needing this kind of help, how can they reach you or find you so that they can learn about your program?
They can reach me through my LinkedIn profile, Linda Hamilton, CPA. Don't Google the actress of the Terminator movies, but I do terminate tax and business challenges. Your audience could reach out to me for a copy of the book and a free download of the Systems for Creating Systems. And my other email is hello@growprofitscale.com. And I'd be happy to share some resources to help people get started on their systems journey, which is the one way to free yourself from overwhelm and business burnout.
Very good. Thank you so much for all this valuable information. We definitely look forward to having you back again very, very soon. And with that, we will be right back after this commercial break.
Attention timeshare owners. This is an urgent consumer alert from the Timeshare Exit Hotline, a national company specializing in helping consumers legally get out of their expensive timeshare contracts. We're offering you a way to legally get rid of your timeshare. So if you're fed up with the maintenance fees that keep on coming and want to learn if you can terminate your timeshare legally and permanently, call today. Call the number on your screen today. It's a free call.
Taking a trip in the next 12 months? Airlines are under tremendous pressure and they're practically giving away their unsold seats. Like every crisis, this one will end too. But right now is the best time to take advantage of giveaway ticket prices on their unsold seats. We're not allowed to publish these low fares online. The only way to get these rock bottom giveaway prices is to call. So phone low-cost airlines now for airline ticket prices you may never see again.
The legal profession is not immune to the disruptive power of artificial intelligence. AI is reshaping the way lawyers research, analyze, and manage legal matters. AI-powered legal research tools can sift through vast volumes of legal documents, statutes, and case law in seconds, providing lawyers with comprehensive insights to build their cases. In courtrooms, AI is used to manage and present digital evidence effectively. It can organize and analyze evidence, making complex cases more understandable for judges and juries. In contract review, AI quickly identifies potential risks, inconsistencies, and compliance issues in legal contracts, saving valuable time and reducing human errors. The future of law is being shaped by AI. AI is streamlining legal research, improving courtroom presentations, enhancing contract analysis, and making legal information more efficient and accessible. Data Dive, infinite insights instantly.
Hi, I am Noura Al-Masri and welcome to Echoes of Impact with Noura. Join me on a journey where we celebrate the power of women in business, the driving force behind growing nonprofits, and the architects of change in our community. We'll explore strategies for building successful businesses, increasing cash flow, and saving on taxes. Tune in to Echoes of Impact with Noura, because when women succeed, we all thrive. See you there.
Welcome back, everyone, to Biz Talk on NowMedia Television. I'm your host, Rachel Weaver, and I have with me today Maurice Hamilton. Maurice is an award-winning information technology expert. Maurice has led a global professional service team of engineers and solution architects from the U.S. to Canada, Costa Rica, the Philippines, and India. Prodigy clients with 21st century digital automation. Maurice, it is such a pleasure to have you with us.
Thanks for having me today.
I am excited to dive into a hot topic with you today. AI and how businesses should approach instituting AI into their infrastructure, because this is a critical piece to success in today's world. So tell us, how should businesses plan AI integration to smoothly blend with existing infrastructure that they already have, so you don't panic your team, right? So you don't cause this uproar of, I don't know how, I can't, the frustration level, right? So how would you smoothly integrate this in to make it where not only it's working for your company, but also it's a transition for your employees?
I mean, that's a great point, because the last thing you want to do with the organization is create chaos and confusion, and then everybody gets mad with it, and then they just don't apply it, and it doesn't work. And so the first and the number one thing I think that a lot of companies should take is, don't make hasty decisions. A lot of people, when ChatGPT came out in early January 23, they came out and said, we need to do that. And I think that a lot of people need to understand that don't let the hype get to you. Don't have FOMO, fear of missing out, because you're not going to miss it. But just keep in mind that you need to make sure that that AI is going to take a large amount of data, and you have to make sure that you apply the analytics, that you identify the trends. You have to make right decisions so you can actually make something that's better for your organization. So you have to plan it. And the second thing I would have to say with that would be, you have to be very methodical, very pragmatic, very realistic with the goals that you actually set.
Yeah, such great advice, because if you cause a disruption that's uncomfortable for people, then there's a panic button that starts to go off in their heads, and then they dislike going to work. But really, it's just because it's a discomfort anytime we learn something new, and sometimes it's hard for people to accept. So what objectives must businesses set for AI integration, aligning with broader goals?
That's a great question. And it reminds me of a conversation I had with the leader of a logistics company last week. And we talked about this. We had this exact same conversation. And I let them know that you have to have a well thought out plan, with some of those things I just mentioned before, being pragmatic, very methodical, actually what you want to do, but you have to have a clear focus and direction as to what you want to do. And I gave him an example of when UPS a few years ago, they actually came out there and said that, hey, look, we got a better way to do this. And they said, we're going to make sure all our trucks only make right-hand turns, only make left-hand turns when necessary. And they figured out that they can save on gas, they can save on emissions, and they can actually deliver their routes a lot faster. And the same thing I told him, so we need to go back out there and create a clear plan so we can actually go back and use the automation to help your organization save time and money. So I have to say that you have to have a clear and concise plan.
So important for so many things, but definitely integrating something new. So how can businesses measure the effectiveness of AI implementations in their infrastructure, and what metrics matter the most?
I have to say, you have to quantify everything. Everything you do, you have to measure every step in the process. And that same conversation I was having with the gentleman there, and we're talking about that. Say, look, for example, if you have a cost of $10,000 to implement AI, and then you can get to 2 additional new contracts or big clients, and they can generate $50,000 in profit, you just pour extra money, you got a $40,000 profit there. but you have to measure everything. You have to measure continuously along the process to make sure that you're getting the meaningful outcomes that you're looking for, and make sure that you're achieving the objectives.
So important, just to measure things along the way. Such great advice. So what challenges do businesses encounter when implementing AI, and how can planning help address some of these bigger challenges?
Another great question, and I will say that because a lot of times when you actually use an AI, you're employing data scientists, data analysts, you're applying engineers, some machine learning experts, but you have to make sure that you understand that you're actually giving somebody access to your data. So when you want to actually think about that, one of the biggest challenges, your data is your company. That's your lifeline. That's your gold. And so you want to make sure that you're protecting your intellectual property. And in some cases, it might be better if you even hire somebody yourself. But a lot of companies, when they do this kind of work, some of that work will be offshore. It could be near shore. It can be onshore. So you have to make sure that you have the right people in the right positions to protect your data, because that's one of the biggest challenges, is protecting your data.
Yeah, that's it's always a risk anytime we do anything, but another level when you bring someone else in, super important. So how can businesses ensure ethical AI practices in their infrastructure planning, including data privacy and bias mitigation?
That's probably the biggest challenge of them all right there. Because you think about AI, the data that you're putting inside the system, even with ChatGPT, that is getting that data from some place. If that data is corrupt or that data is incorrect, it can make a big difference. But a lot of people have to look at that and say, are they measuring the information correctly to make sure that they're removing any kind of bias that may be out there? And we had an example of a few weeks ago, Google ran out and they put some AI information out there, and all of a sudden they just changed history. So, well, you can't change history. You can't manipulate it. That's not the purpose of using AI. But you have to make sure that you have your system that's going to build trust. It's going to be able to abide by any kind of regulatory, any kind of government rules and regulations that may have out there. You're protecting your intellectual property that we talked about a few minutes ago. You're securing your data that's there. But there's a whole bunch of other little things that you have to think about. Think about the ethical repercussions of that, and repercussions, I should say. And then you have to make sure that you're being very protective of your information so that you don't go out there and put the bad data inside the system, that you're getting good, correct information, clean information coming out.
Yeah, super important. Such valuable information. So tell the audience, where can we find you, Maurice?
Sure. They can always email me and my team at info@infinivate.com, or give us a call at 346-639-4039.
Very good. Well, thank you so much for always bringing so much value to Biz Talk on Now Media. And with that, we will be right back after this commercial break.
Are you nearly maxed out on your credit cards? It doesn't matter if you're using your credit cards for fun or to survive. At the end of the month, your statements come in, and you can either pay them or you can't. If you can't, late fees and interest rates get tacked on. And now you're struggling just to make the minimum payment due. Do you feel trapped? Am I talking to you? Good, because I personally researched some companies that can help you. They may be able to reduce your credit card balances by 50% and stop the late fees. If you qualify, please call our special debt hotline number right now for a complimentary free 5-minute consultation. Deal with your credit card problem now before it gets much worse, and put more money back in your pocket. Trust me, I've been there too. Call right now.
Call 855-993-2096 right now. That's 855-993-2096.
Hi, my name is Michelle Merhar. You may remember me from the morning news. I'd like to tell you how getting data and documents into action fast gives you a competitive edge. Digital-first thinking to manage document workflows efficiently are giving all organizations a competitive edge. In fact, digital document automation is an essential process, helping us to become more profitable and to compete. By making any process paperless with secure automation, Decisions can be made efficiently, virtually from anywhere. You'll be able to find and share documents securely in seconds. Your staff will be empowered by making optimal use of every office hour. And by the way, the size of your organization doesn't matter. Precision Products has been helping organizations for more than 30 years with paper to digital processes, including scanning systems for any document to premises and cloud document management systems. We make it easy and scalable for your business process needs from the office or other locations, even mobile devices. Contact us to see how we can help your organization succeed. Contact Will Waterall direct at 713-446-5939 and visit us on the web at precisionproductsinc.com.
Have you ever had to hire multiple contractors? It is a daunting task that takes a lot of management time and impacts the core business or the company, the time you spend with your loved ones. At Texas Home Property Solutions, you can count on a responsible company that can tackle all your general contractor needs. Electricity, painting, remodeling, plumbing, air conditioning, and roofing. Hire us and forget it. With over 20 years of experience, Texas Home Property Solution will deliver your project on time and within budget, with the high level of quality and integrity, no matter the size or complexity. If you are a company, a government institution, or an individual who needs a general contractor, you need Texas Home Property Solution. Take a decisive step and call us today for a free consultation.
Welcome back to Biz Talk, everyone. I am your host for today, Rachel Weaver, and I am thrilled to have with me a regular guest on our show, Nora Al-Masri. Nora is an enrolled agent with the Internal Revenue Services and the founder and CEO of Nora's Books. She is also an international best-selling author. Nora holds a master's degree in business information technology from DePaul University. She has over 20 years of experience in accounting gained from various corporations and a lot of nonprofit work. Nora, it is always an honor and pleasure to have you with us on the show. Welcome.
Thank you, Rachel. It's my pleasure to be here with you, as usual.
Yeah, so I'm excited today to talk about ongoing compliance, which is not such a fun topic to talk about, but a very necessary topic to talk about for business owners, especially small business owners that aren't always in the know or don't have an experienced advisor or accountant. So, what are some crucial tax compliances that small businesses often overlook?
So there are a lot of compliance work, some of them like related to the industry you are and other like just like across the board for everyone. I'm just going to talk about the things that are across the board. If you have employees, of course, you have to do your quarterly payroll taxes, and you want to look to see based on your requirements. You might be required to do it monthly or quarterly. It depends, or some other schedule. So you want to make sure like you are aware of the schedule that you're required to do, like based on your industry, based on your state as well. So you need to make sure you file for both, for the state and for federal. Another thing a lot of people miss is actually issuing 1099s and W-2s. That's part of the compliance, and there's actually penalties if not you don't do that. And especially when it comes to reporting other incomes to people. So how can you deduct something you did not report? So if you are having a 1099 worker or a W-2 employee, you need to make sure you issue that to them like every single year with accurate information. And you want to be aware that I've seen a lot actually of wrong W-2s. You want to be sure, especially now with the internet, like when we are working virtually a lot and you maybe have employees from different states, you want to make sure you are in compliance with the state they are in, not you are in. So the more states you have like employees in, you want to make sure you have all the compliance, all the numbers that associated with that, so you can withhold and pay those taxes on their behalf. This is the most actually step one, like, and I've seen a lot of disaster with these. No one likes to work on it. No one likes to actually pay attention to it. And I've seen also part of the compliance is you need to determine who's 1099 and who's W-2, because it's not up to you. There are rules for these. So this is what about actually payroll and paying individuals, contractors. Other compliance related to sales, and that's actually it's up to your state, sometimes to your city, sometimes to your industry. So you just have to be aware of all the regulations that ties into your industry, to your and to your location. So this is just like few examples, but the list can go on, and you just have to be aware, and you have to be actually talking to a tax accountant who knows what's going on in your space.
So much information to always try and keep track of, because I feel as though it's constantly evolving and changing, those compliance rules and laws. So how can a small business owner ensure that they remain compliant with ever-changing tax laws?
So the first step in compliance is actually doing your bookkeeping. So once you are doing the bookkeeping, and you need to understand it's a compliance work, it's not up to you. You need to do it with someone who knows what they're doing, because not everyone knows what they're doing. So that's the first step in compliance. And if you're doing compliance, hopefully you're working with a professional. Now, not everyone who does bookkeeping also knows tax law. So you need to get involved with actually ongoing tax professional in order to make sure you are in compliance. You need to be engaged like at least in a quarterly basis. It's not on a monthly basis. I recommend in monthly basis because a lot can go wrong. They don't have to do the service for you, but at least you get their advice. You make sure you are actually in compliance. You are in good standing, so you don't have any problem going forward.
Such great information. Are there tools or services you'd recommend for managing compliance efficiently?
So compliance, usually, like, you have to be working with professional in order to make sure that's going on correctly, because otherwise, like, you will be, there's no one tool that to work with. Like, you have to work with an advisor, like AI, all these stuff, like programs do not replace the human being behind the thing, because your case and situation is unique. Not everyone has the same situation like you have, even if it seems like they do, but they don't. You want to make sure you have your tax planning done. You make sure you have your bookkeeping, you have ongoing connection with tax professional who are willing to do this work, because we all know, like, not all tax firms like open all year, even, like, especially for those big taxes, like they only do income taxes, they don't worry about other stuff. But in these things, like, you need to be working with someone who works all year round and they know what they're doing on to compliance.
Such important and valuable information, because the repercussions can be big. All the penalties and fines are not pretty. So definitely seek out a tax advisor. Reach out to Nora. She can help you no matter what state you live in. And I also always like to bring up your knowledge and expertise in this area regarding nonprofits, because I know that you help a lot of nonprofits to be able to understand how to gain funding, which is a big struggle for a lot of nonprofits, but you have those simple answers. So Nora, tell us, where can the audience find you?
So they can go to my website, norasbooks.com/contact. They can book a call with me there, like we can talk on Zoom and see how we can work together. And also they can follow my social media and subscribe to my YouTube. There's always like new information there. So yeah, I'm looking forward to talk to anyone who needs help.
Love it. Thank you so much for being with us today. We truly appreciate your time, and we look forward to having you back again very soon. With that, thank you for tuning in to Biz Talk, and we will see you again next time.
This has been a NowMedia Networks feature presentation. All rights reserved.
Do you have a car sitting around you want to get rid of? Well, here's a great idea. Donate your car now to help local veterans in your area. Yes, just make one fast call to the Veteran Car Donation Program. Within a few days, we'll come and remove your car for free. You can donate any car in any condition. We'll use our vast network to sell it. The proceeds raised go to help local veterans and their families. And you get a tax deduction. And all you need to do is make this free call. Clean your yard up, get rid of an old car, and help the vets. We make it easy. Make this free call now. Book your fast and easy pickup. Call the Veteran Car Donation Program now.
Taking a trip in the next 12 months? Airlines are under tremendous pressure and they're practically giving away their unsold seats. Like every crisis, this one will end too. But right now is the best time to take advantage of giveaway ticket prices on their unsold seats. We're not allowed to publish these low fares online. The only way to get these rock bottom giveaway prices is to call. So phone low-cost airlines now for airline ticket prices you may never see again. Are you nearly maxed out on your credit cards? It doesn't matter if you're using your credit cards for fun or to survive. At the end of the month, your statements come in, and you can either pay them or you can't. If you can't, late fees and interest rates get tacked on. And now you're struggling just to make the minimum payment due. Do you feel trapped? Am I talking to you? Good, because I personally researched some companies that can help you. They may be able to reduce your credit card balances by 50% and stop the late fees. If you qualify, please call our special debt hotline number right now for a complimentary free 5-minute consultation. Deal with your credit card problem now before it gets much worse and put more money back in your pocket. Trust me, I've been there too. Call right now.
Call 855-993-2096 right now. That's 855-993-2096.
Have you ever had to hire multiple contractors? It is a daunting task that takes a lot of management time and impacts the core business or the company the time you spend with your loved ones. At Texas Home Property Solutions, you can count on a responsible company that can tackle all your general contractor needs. Electricity, painting, remodeling, plumbing, air conditioning, and roofing. Hire us and forget it. With over 20 years of experience, Texas Home Property Solution will deliver your project on time and within budget, with the high level of quality and integrity, no matter the size or complexity. If you are a company, a government institution, or an individual who needs a general contractor, you need Texas Home Property Solution. Take a decisive step and call us today for a free consultation.
If you're living with diabetes and using insulin, you know the pain of pricking your fingers over and over again. By wearing a small device called a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, you can reduce